Well, he Googled his name because he was concerned and apparently looking for a job, feeling that his was insecure.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said Paul Harvey.
No, Hardy.
Oh, no, I don't know Paul Hardy.
Well, he was one of the targets. And the Internet was filled and Googleable with all those screenshots, basically, because your agency took no precautions on that confidential information. His correspondence with Congress, if it was there, his correspondence with his doctor, his lawyer, his priest, anybody. And it simply became an Internet phenomenon that you could Google and get it because it was put out on an open site because the FDA did not take the precautions, did not fill out the forms properly, and did not protect that information which it had captured clandestinely. Isn't that true?
Well, that may have been the case a few years ago. But
no. Wait a second. You're a witness. You're under oath.
I am, sir.
You say may have been the case. Are you here today and you don't know if it was the case?
I was not there 2 years ago, so I would not have.
Do any of you know if it was the case or if I'm just coming up with something that's Internet lore?
Respectfully, sir, I believe that Dr. Shuren was in charge at CDRH at the time.
Are you familiar with the, and I'm just on the same thing, I've got to give time to the ranking member, but are you familiar with the release of that information, the fact that it wasn't protected and it became essentially Internet public?
Yes, I know information was made public. I don't know the full extent of it. I wasn't involved in dealing with the contract or any handling of that material. But I am aware that information was posted on the Internet.
Okay. And I'll give you equal time, but if I had your indulgence for one more quick question. There's been an alluding to the confidential information the New York Times got. Just for the record, it wasn't patent information. It wasn't a deep, dark secret on how you make a product. It was the fact the product was in question as to whether it was safe and effective. Isn't that correct, Doctor?
It was whether or not the product was under review, and that has been considered confidential. Companies many times do not want competitors to know that they're working on a product and that it's under review by the agency.
Okay, I just want to understand the level of trade secret is a product the New York Times reported was under review and may not have been safe.
It was just simply that the product was under review would be confidential commercial information.
Okay, but it's something that I want everyone to understand that the term confidential is not the term the public thinks is all that confidential. Most people look at these products, clinical trials, the process of approval, and then the question of whether they're being re-reviewed. Most people probably listening and watching today believe the public has a right to know that information and may not agree with the FDA's view that that is private or confidential or somehow a secret from the American people as to whether a product they may or may not yet be on the market is safe and effective. Ms. Canterbury, if you wanted to respond quickly.
I couldn't agree more. I think that at the base of all of these questions is why is this information considered confidential in the first place, and is that serving the public health and safety? I think that there needs to be a question answered about why the FDA did not choose to first verify whether or not it was legitimately considered to be confidential in the first place and investigate that matter instead of investigating a so-called leak of confidential information.
Thank you. Mr. Cummings.
If I may, I was going to respond to your question.
Of course.
But our employees know that that information is confidential, and that has been for a long-standing time. Keeping that information confidential is critically important. It can undermine ongoing review of medical device applications. In fact, I believe in that particular case, it in fact did that. It undermines our medical device program, keeping that confidential information confidential. Companies, that information we need for making decisions about products, and companies rely on the fact that we protect that information. We don't protect it. The companies don't bring innovative technologies to the U.S. Our patients lose. Public health gets hurt when that happens. That's why those protections are in place in the first place. That's why Congress put the protections in place.
Doctor,
and it hurts American businesses.
I appreciate what you're saying. They bring innovative products here because of profit. But let's understand one thing. Did these companies sign a gag order? Are they prohibited from disclosing that you're looking at it?
No, they may disclose it. That is their decision to make.
Okay, thank you. So it's a one-way gag order. Please, Mr. Cummings.